Welcome to Dark Side of History channel, where the untold stories of the past come to life. So don't forget to subscribe and uncover the mysteries with us.
Kazakhstan village boy, Soviet life. A young child was photographed holding fresh apples in a rural Soviet Socialist Republic district of Kosta, Kazakhstan, in 1962. This innocent scene showed daily life in remote Soviet villages where children helped their families with farming and food gathering. The boy's simple life represented millions of children growing up in the vast Soviet countryside during the Cold War era. Performance art, creative expression. Artists used unusual costumes and symbolic moments to express deep meanings through character portrayals and music presentations. These creative performances challenged traditional art forms and encouraged audiences to think differently about beauty, society, and human expression. Performance art showed how artists could use their bodies and creativity to communicate powerful messages without using words. Abraham Lincoln battlefield visit. President Abraham Lincoln visited the Antietam battlefield in Maryland just days after the major Civil War engagement in September 1862. This brave presidential visit to an active war zone showed Lincoln's personal commitment to understanding the terrible cost of the conflict. His presence on the battlefield demonstrated presidential leadership and his deep concern for the soldiers fighting to preserve the Union. Max Factor, beauty, science, innovation. Pioneer Max Factor took precise facial measurements using his innovative beauty calibrator device in 1932 to create perfect makeup for Hollywood stars. This scientific approach to beauty helped establish the modern cosmetics industry and movie makeup techniques. Factor's measuring device showed how technology and science could be applied to enhance human appearance and create Hollywood glamour. Circus Hospital Joy Visit. Circus performers, including entertainer Charlie Smith, brought happiness and laughter to children undergoing medical treatment in hospitals. These kind-hearted entertainers volunteered their time to perform tricks, jokes, and magic shows for sick children who needed cheering up. The circus visits showed how entertainment could be used as medicine to help heal both bodies and spirits. Migrant farm worker family struggle. A father posed with his wife and 10 children during the Great Depression in 1936 while seeking agricultural work to support his large family. This hard-working family traveled from farm to farm looking for jobs picking crops and doing manual labor for very little money. Their story represented millions of poor families who struggled to survive during America's worst economic crisis. Hungarian Army Field Kitchen Operations. Royal Hungarian soldiers operated mobile cooking equipment to prepare hot meals for troops in the field during 1938. These portable kitchens allowed armies to feed soldiers nutritious food even when they were far from permanent military bases. The field kitchen technology showed how military logistics provided essential support for soldiers during training and combat operations. Anne Frank, childhood, Amsterdam. 6-year-old Anne Frank was photographed outside her father Otto's Opeka Company building on Amsterdam's Single Canal in 1935. This innocent childhood moment captured Anne before the Nazi occupation that would force her family into hiding and lead to her tragic death. The photograph showed Anne as a normal, happy child before the Holocaust changed her life forever. German-Polish diplomatic hunting. Hermann Göring and Polish President Ignacy Mościcki participated in a diplomatic hunting trip on February 26, 1938, during rising tensions before World War II. This outdoor meeting represented the last attempts at peaceful relations between Germany and Poland before war destroyed their relationship. The hunting trip showed how political leaders tried to maintain diplomacy even as military conflict approached. Beach radio entertainment listening. People enjoyed portable radio entertainment and news broadcasts while relaxing at seaside locations during the 1940s. These portable radios brought music, comedy shows, and important war news to families enjoying beach vacations. The portable radios showed how technology allowed people to stay connected with the wider world even during leisure activities. London Air Raid Safety Training. Students practiced emergency safety procedures wearing gas masks and learning underground shelter protocols during London air raid drills in 1938. These essential training exercises prepared children for the German bombing attacks that would come during World War II. The air raid drills showed how entire populations had to prepare for the dangers of modern warfare. Soviet Berlin Victory Declaration. A Soviet soldier declared Germany's formal surrender on Berlin streets in May 1945, announcing the end of World War II in Europe. This historic moment marked the conclusion of the deadliest conflict in human history and the beginning of Soviet occupation of Eastern Europe. The victory announcement showed how ordinary soldiers became part of world-changing historical events. Lee Miller Hitler Apartment Photography. War photographer Lee Miller took a bath in Adolf Hitler's Munich apartment on April 30, 1945, creating a powerful symbolic photograph. This bold act showed the complete defeat of Nazi Germany and the personal triumph over evil by Allied forces. Miller's photograph became an iconic image of victory and the end of Hitler's reign of terror. Stockholm Bank Robbery Syndrome Creation. Clark Olofsson was involved in the Normalstorg bank robbery incident on August 26, 1973, which created the famous Stockholm Syndrome psychological phenomenon. This unusual hostage situation led to victims developing sympathy for their captors, creating a new understanding of psychological trauma. The bank robbery became famous for its unexpected psychological effects rather than the crime itself. Young Vietnam War photographer. 13-year-old Lê Minh Hung captured powerful conflict images using simple camera equipment during the Vietnam War in 1968. This brave young photographer documented the horrors of war from a child's perspective, creating unique historical records. His work showed how even children could contribute to historical documentation during dangerous times. English wartime horse meat rationing. People lined up at a North Cheam butcher shop on April 17, 1942, to buy horse meat during severe wartime food rationing in England. These desperate customers had to eat unusual meat because traditional beef and pork were unavailable during World War II shortages. The horse meat queue showed how war forced people to change their eating habits and accept foods they would normally refuse. Australian lumberjack creative grooming. Workers used axes as improvised mirrors for personal grooming during World War II in the Australian wilderness in 1941. These creative lumberjacks found practical solutions for maintaining their appearance while working in remote forest locations without modern conveniences. Their ingenuity showed how people adapted to difficult conditions using available tools and creativity. Berlin Wall fall traffic chaos. East Germans crossed to the western side of Berlin, creating massive traffic jams near Brandenburg Gate when the Berlin Wall fell in 1989. This historic moment saw thousands of people rushing to experience freedom after decades of separation from family and friends. The traffic chaos represented the overwhelming joy and excitement of German reunification after the Cold War. Eiffel Tower maintenance painting. A worker maintained the Paris monument structure using safety belts and basic equipment while painting the Eiffel Tower in 1953. This dangerous job required skilled workers to climb the tall iron structure and apply protective paint to prevent rust and deterioration. The tower maintenance showed how famous landmarks require constant care to preserve them for future generations. Czechoslovakia jet engine snow removal. Railway workers used a MiG-15 jet engine to defrost and clear snow from train tracks during a severe snowstorm in Czechoslovakia in 1970. This creative solution used military aircraft engines to solve civilian transportation problems when traditional snow removal equipment was inadequate. The jet engine snow clearing showed how innovative thinking could solve difficult winter transportation challenges. Myanmar giraffe women traditional culture. Traditional neck ring wearing culture was passed down through generations among women in Burma, creating the famous giraffe women appearance. These brass rings gradually lengthened the neck and represented cultural beauty standards and tribal identity that continued for centuries. The tradition showed how different cultures developed unique standards of beauty and personal decoration.